Hi, it's Colin. Make sure to subscribe to the Volume YouTube channel so you don't miss any episodes. You know, like Eli Manning did.
Eli's late. Hey, we're on this interview. You calling in? What are you doing?
What?
We're on this interview.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, I forgot about it.
You're killing me. You're killing me.
Well, let me first talk Patriots-Browns. Shocked by the outcome. Now, I say shocked. The Jags beat the Bills and Carolina destroyed Arizona. I'm not shocked by much. But it was the way, the trouncing, and the way it came to fruition. I said this about 6 weeks ago. I said Baker's career is going to be boiled down to about a 6-7 game stretch when he plays against his peers. And I said he's going to play against Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Mac Jones, and Lamar Jackson twice. He was not as good as Justin Herbert. He was completely outdueled by Mac Jones today. He's got to at least split those games against Lamar Jackson. Andrew Berry, this GM, will not make the mistake the Eagles did with Wentz or the Rams did with Goff. He did not draft Baker Mayfield. He is showing patience. And this was an interesting game. Second time against Belichick, second time Baker plays poorly. He's 26 now. You know, the numbers on Belichick, 25-year-old quarterbacks and younger, he owns. Okay, Baker's now 26. Baker's got a lot of snaps in this league. He has, even without his top two running backs, much better offensive personnel than Mac Jones had, and Mac Jones was clearly the superior quarterback. This is my question about Baker. Right tackle's out, running backs out. How are you going to do on the road? Not well. Listen, I think Mac Jones and Baker are both minivans. Mac's just the deluxe version with Wi-Fi. And what Mac Jones is doing, you see this linear progression. He is getting better every 2 weeks. I mean, you're literally seeing it since the second half against the Houston Texans. This kid looks like he's been in this league for several years. That's how I felt about Justin Herbert as a rookie. You were seeing leaps every 2 and 3 weeks. With Baker, it's a roller coaster. Right now, Baker, Mac Jones, Andrew Berry, GM Browns, who do you draft? There is no question who he drafts. It's not a question we need to ask anymore. Baker, playing with a lead, playing with a full deck, is a very competent quarterback. I mean, people went crazy last week. He had 14 completions, but Baker trailing against an elite coach or a defense, missing a right tackle, maybe a back or two on the road. Can't do it. We don't need to keep asking these questions. Darnold can't do it. Either can Baker. He's just a better version. And I also think we got to give credit here to New England. You start looking around the AFC. They don't have the ceiling of Buffalo. Okay? They don't explode over the top like a Kansas City at their best. Start looking at the AFC, though. What do you think of Baltimore today? What do you think of Cleveland and Pittsburgh? I start looking around the AFC. I think we have to have a discussion. Tennessee is probably the most consistent team with New England in the entire conference. Can we say that now? It's 3-4 straight games for New England. Tennessee and New England are the most consistent teams in the AFC. Buffalo is the most talented and has the ability to explode on a pretty regular basis. There's a Mike Tyson quality sometimes to Buffalo. If they get the lead, I mean, they knock you out. I mean, they've got a lot of weapons. They're hyper aggressive. They got a great pass rush. But I think we have to start talking now about New England as a top 3 team. It's nuts in the AFC. We knew Brady would win the divorce first year because he chose the team he got to go to. And he got the Patriots off guard a little. Right now, they're in my top 3. New England is. And I'll be honest. You start watching them now, they look a lot like Brady's Patriots. They do. They check all the boxes. No penalties, no drops. They run the ball. They catch the ball. They don't make mistakes. You don't get any freebies. They win time of possession. This is looking like the Patriots with Brady a couple of years ago. They got in. They didn't win the Super Bowl, but they got in. They lost to Tennessee, but it felt like a team that was capable of winning a playoff game or two. I want to talk about Green Bay and Seattle. There is an understanding that Aaron Rodgers will probably test the waters after the season. I do not think he can do better, in my opinion, than Green Bay. They develop offensive lines as good as anybody in the NFL, not named the Patriots. He's got a number one receiver and two very capable backs. A.J. Dillon now is a great compliment back to Aaron Jones. Cross our fingers on Aaron Jones' health. He left that game early. He's got an offensive coach, great home field advantage, and I think the defense this year is the best the Packers have had since their Super Bowl winning year. Let's talk about Russell Wilson. I've been told by people I trust in the Pacific Northwest, he's not happy. He wants an offensive coach. He doesn't feel like he has a creative offense. He has some say in it, but not as much as he'd like. We all assume Aaron Rodgers is going to really test the waters. I would not be in the least surprised after that Jordan Love appearance against the Chiefs if Green Bay moved Jordan Love, got a 5th, 6th round pick, and re-signed Aaron Rodgers. Wouldn't be surprised. By the way, Aaron got some really, really ugly press not being vaccinated. It made him look too hip for the room and kind of selfish. What is the one way to garner some affection, not only in Green Bay, but the NFL? Re-sign with the Packers, make an announcement, I'm finishing my career in Green Bay. Feels like, oh, he's a team guy. He's a family guy. We got his back, right? After all that negative press, what's the one thing he could do? He'd be supported. He'd have a fan base that loves him. I mean, hasn't he pissed off enough people? You go back to Green Bay, you sign a 4-year deal, you move the money around. I'm all in. He wins another Super Bowl, has got 2 first-ballot Hall of Famer. He doesn't want to end his career like Favre and be choppy. I mean, I know we look at Tom Brady at Tampa and go, oh, this is the way it's going to work. It's not the way it works. Go back to Montana. Go back to Favre. You can win some games. It's usually really choppy. I think Russell Wilson, on the other hand, folks, it's getting worse. I mean, Aaron's getting to NFC championships. Russell's one and done in the playoffs. Pete Carroll is 70. He's a defensive coach. He gave up 2 firsts for Jamal Adams. The offensive line is average. Green Bay's is almost always excellent. You watch Russell Wilson. It's not creative, very little motion, very dependent on him making a play with his feet. I'm 50-50 on Russell Wilson as a Seahawk next year. And I think there's a lot of suitors. I'm excited to watch OBJ with the Rams on Monday Night Football. With the loss of Robert Woods, he becomes very important. They have no depth at wide receiver. They lost Atwell, the rookie, the speedster, earlier this year. It was like a punt return against Houston, shoulder injury. So they have Cooper Kupp, Van Jefferson, who's off to a good start, OBJ, and then a rookie out of Notre Dame, big kid. And that's it. And they got no depth. I think it's still a strength for the team, but we know OBJ is brittle. Do I think he makes them a different offense? No, I don't think you'll see them in 11 personnel as much. My people inside the Rams say they're going to do different things with OBJ. This is going to free up some different looks. He is really good with the ball in his hands. I was also interested to see Cam Newton with the Carolina Panthers. OBJ and Cam, always loved by players. A lot of flash, a lot of fun, big brands. When Cam got picked up by Carolina, there was a lot of doubters. And I said Friday on the Herd, I said, I think he brings energy. There's a Westbrook quality to him. Players love him. And, you know, Westbrook drives me nuts, but he gives you minutes. He gives you production. Players love him. He plays hard. He's there every night. I kind of feel like Cam Newton was the right call. A, he's better than the options. Now look around. With that defense and running game, they beat Arizona. Y'all realize the bottom of the NFC is weak, right? The top's great, the bottom's weak. I think you can get in 8-9. Probably not 7-10, 8-9. With that defense, that running game, that coach and Cam Newton, I wouldn't want to play him. You'd go in as a big favorite if you were Tampa. We just watched Washington beat Tampa. If I was Green Bay, I wouldn't want to face that defense. No thanks. I'm the Rams. I got pushed around by Tennessee's front. I wouldn't want to face Carolina's defense, Cam Newton. It's a tough matchup. They're different. McCaffrey, Cam, that defense, Matt Rule, DJ Moore. So I think he's better than what they have. I think the offense Matt Rule will run with Cam is going to be a very physical offense, and I think it matches their defense. But OBJ, I think he's going to be pretty good with the Rams. Cam, I think he's going to be pretty good with Carolina.